Hello, everyone. Welcome to the newest installment of PMO TV. Of course, I'm Pamela Avante, and I have a very special guest with me today. One of the good frat brothers from the land of Epsilon Zeta, trained at Fayetteville State. You know, technically a little youngin compared to my I probably got you by maybe like 2 years, right? Maybe 2 years in Alpha, 2, 3, maybe. Who cares? Who cares? But either way, I have one of my good frat brothers, the CEO, founder of Roots Mentor, and I have Mr. Marcus Jenkins. Brother, how you feeling tonight?
I'm swell, man. I'm swell. I appreciate the opportunity, man. Always a pleasure to share the space with a good brother.
High honor right there. I know we put on this some weeks ago, but you know how life be life in, and you gotta figure things out. You know, you're a busy man, you're a family man. You know, you gotta set boundaries, set time with the family. So ain't never been no hard feelings like that at all. So
Definitely,
I
man. I
completely
respect, man. It's in alignment now, though, man. So, like I said, pleasure to be here with you.
appreciate you, brother. Yeah, so this kind of one of my newer installments now since last week leading up to the election, I was kind of using time to like having content I had created, just pushing it out more. You know, just trying to be a good citizen for the good people in such a pivotal moment in time and everything. But a couple they coming to the end of the year, get a nice little reset in for the start of the new year. So of course I get my last minute favorite guest in here and everything. So I guess we're gonna take it back. Take it back. So like if you're familiar with the show at all, I like to do my little put me on section. Nice little icebreaker to get people, to connect with people all across the world. Connect everyone. We like to read because we're young professionals. Everywhere we go, we still listen to our music or our music, depending on where you're from. You put a little R in the music sometimes. Who we watching, who we listening to, and stuff like that. So my question number one for you. So actually, I lied because I forgot. I'm a big mental health advocate now. I'm trying to try this new hat now. Mood check. So my mood check is a scale of 1 to 5. So how you feeling today? One being the lowest,
I
five
like
being the
that.
highest. Yeah,
I
yeah.
like that. It's crazy you said that because today my theme has been optimistic. Right, I woke up feeling good, extremely bubbly. But throughout the day, learning, the outcome and things of that nature of this election that recently occurred, I was flustered. So my mood shifted drastically. But I've been very intentional with my mental health to the point where I took a little power walk. You know what I'm saying? I took some time to
Yeah.
meditate. So I would say I woke up as a 4. As my
Okay.
morning progressed, it went to a 1 or a 2. To be honest, I was extremely flustered. But now I'm at a 4. I'm right back at a 4, man. So
Good.
vibrant to
Yeah,
say the least.
I get it. You know how it goes. Like especially like this, such an emotional roller coaster and everything. Whether it have like a
100%.
society, how a society accepts us today, the results of the election, reliving back in this Trump era and presidency. So mental health is gonna become an all time high now, just all across the
It's
board.
vital. It's vital. Nah, I definitely agree.
And and it's crazy. It is weird too. I think society. Like we celebrate different things. So of course, one side of the history was we was looking to celebrate a woman running the country for the first time ever. Like us growing up, we had
Mm,
Obama in our
mm.
high school era in years. We was hoping to see some more history as in our lifetime, and not saying we won't see it in the future, but I didn't want to see this part of history again. So there we go. Here we go. But
Nah, I'm,
yeah,
I'm definitely tracking. I agree with you wholeheartedly, man. Either way, it was going to be historical. And again, flustered the way it went, but I'm hoping this really empowers our people, man. It galvanizes our people to come together to realize that again, like we gotta evolve. You know what I'm saying? Kind of pull yourself by the bootstring type of mentality again, because he don't seem to advocate for a lot of things that we're working towards.
absolutely, absolutely. And I should I'm gonna bring that to the next point. So my first part, my put me on section now is after the mood check. Put me on to who you listening to, like who you bumping in the car, like who you like when the baby ain't around, like who you bumping really loud in the car, who thumping.
Respect. So it's funny. So it's funny you say that. So any music, well, I'm not gonna say any music, but the music that I play consistently, I play around her as well too. I think exposure is huge, is vital, and everything that I listen to is positive. Like if it's not positive, I don't want to hear it. Now, in all transparency, every now and then I have my NBA YoungBoy days where I just wanna vibe out. But like traditionally, I'm in alignment with that more so. Like if I'm working out or if I'm
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
something that's physical, right? So if I'm cutting the grass or something. I can listen to a Dirk. I can listen to a something of that nature. But traditionally, like 98% of the time, I'm listening to AJ McQueen. That's my dog. If y'all don't know about AJ McQueen, Y'all got to check him out. Again, all his music is extremely high frequency and conscious. So
Okay.
again, if I can't listen to something and understand that it's a deeper context to it and kind of apply it to life, I don't really want to hear it. Give it a buck.
Yeah.
So there's that. AJ McQueen. I'm also extremely fond of LaRussell. That's my dog. I love his energy. I love his momentum. I love his creative energy and his spirit. And then last but not least, I'd probably round it off by saying Londell. That's my dog right now, Londrell. And I've heard about him as of recent. I didn't know about him. My
Yeah.
wife was actually listening to him a while back. But I find myself meditating to his music oftentimes as well too. And he inspires a lot of my poems as well. So yeah.
Okay.
That's music. Put you on. So reading wise, this is the book I would advocate for right now, right? Start with your why. I'm in sales. So I think it's important to be able to genuinely connect and relate to people, and especially the realm that I'm in. I'm very intentional with that. And what this book has taught me is, as a society, we kind of talk about the result of what you get out of things, but not necessarily the why it's worth looking into to begin with.
Yeah.
So just being more intentional with keeping that top of mind. And last but not least, bro, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Like, that was my day one. My mentor put me on that when I was little, and it changed my trajectory forever. So I will always be an advocate of him, and I read that book pretty consistently as well.
Okay, question. When you the last book you mentioned, how old were you when you were first introduced to that book and the author of that book?
So Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Man, my mentor probably put me on game when I was like high school. But as most traditional high schoolers, I put it off. I was BSing. And he presented it to me again. I believe it was like my freshman year of college. And I actually took time to read it. And man, when I tell you, it just got my wheels churning and just dissecting things drastically different. Probably for the next 5-6 years, I listened to it like repetitively. If I had the audio or if I was physically reading the book, I always just made time to get certain chunks and nuggets or reread it at that point.
Yeah. My bad. I'm sorry. So damn, it's not actually. So what high school did you go to?
So, bro, I'm from Asheville, North Carolina.
Okay.
I'm from the mountains. So people know about it because of right. So people know about it because of the Biltmore House, or they know about it because of the recent hurricane that hit, right? The tropical storm that really impacted the city drastically. But yeah, born and raised. So that was T.C. Robertson was the high school I went to.
Yeah. Now, I know I saw the Asheville numbers like some weeks ago when I asked, when I was asking about the program. I was like, "What about that from Asheville?" But it's funny. Your folks still up there in Asheville?
They are. So yeah, they were impacted. So they were impacted. Man, I remember talking to my pops a few weeks ago and he called me happy. I'm like, man, what's up? Like, what's going on? He was like, man, like McDonald's is back open or like Walmart back open. I'm like, dang, like that's crazy. So yeah, now they were hit hard. They came down here kind of to get away, man. He was excited. They were excited to take a shower. You know what I'm saying? Like it was impactful, man. It was impactful. So they back thriving now though.
Hey man, I love to hear that. Definitely, I know one of my frat brothers. He's a mentor to me, Mr. Palmer. He's been kind of back and forth between Asheville, so I know like he's kind of they're just kind of just figuring out surveying the land and everything. I know like for a while, like I think they recently just got back ice or they're getting ice like that. That was when I heard that. I said that's insane. I think
yeah, bro.
I think curfew just is kind of like ending now just because the the water and all that stuff. But and also too, I think they're also getting water back, like you just mentioned. I know, lucky for him, wherever he stays in up that way, I know he has like a house that's connected to a well water or something. So lucky for him, he's doing well. But it sucks and it's unfortunate for everyone else who is kind of still going through it and everything. But
yeah,
definitely keep keep our mountaineers in their prayers for sure. Like that's insane, and it's crazy because I think much as we've been in the South or whatever, like we hear hurricanes often. We normally just associate it, like it being close to like being on the beach, by the ocean, boom, boom, boom. But yeah, the Helene had messed up most of that mountain area, especially like Augusta got it pretty bad, and it just actually I feel like a lot of the storm actually hit like the Midwest too. Cause I know like I had some cousins from Chicago. That's like, man, we got some of the storm too, and I was like, damn, like y'all right, Yeah, major shout out to your people there in Ashland. I hope that continue to pray for them and recovery for that area as a whole. FEMA can be on some BS sometimes for sure.
Nah, respect. They good though. I appreciate that sincerely though.
Yeah, no doubt, So my other part might put me on a section. So like, who you watch? Like, what do you TV?
Good question. The TV that I watch is really like football. So, right, we talked about meeting college, going to Fayetteville State. I left Asheville, North Carolina. Well, essentially playing football and getting a scholarship to Fayetteville State is what took me out of Asheville. You know what I'm saying? So, leader receiver, Western North Carolina, huge advocate for the game. It taught me so many life lessons. But I say all that because really, bro, I watch recaps of like the football game. I don't take the time to watch the whole football game. Like I don't want to sit there for hours. Traditionally, when the football game is on, I'm doing something productive or in some type of engagement. So I really watch the recaps. But when I'm with the missus, we rock with Found. Found. It's a series on Peacock or Netflix, I believe.
Yeah.
Extremely dope. I don't want to give it away for people, but I'll give a quick synopsis. Essentially, she kidnapped her kidnapper, and they work together to essentially solve crazy just mysteries and abductions. And it's just dope. Again, it kind of gets your wheels spinning, very analytical, things of that nature. And outside of that, we go to the movies often. Baby girl, again, she turns 7 next week. She always loves some type of movie, so I'm really big on, again, just being in her world. So I think the last movie that we watched, what was the last movie we watched? It's so many of them. I couldn't even tell you, but I know it'll be another one here soon though. But we watch a lot of movies with baby girl as well too. And last but not least, documentaries. I like documentaries, but I've always been really big on animals. The same mentor who put me on game with Napoleon Hill told me that he learned a lot of elements within life by studying animals. He was a loner, and oftentimes he would spend time in nature, and he watched habits, how habitual they were in their efforts to obtain things, and he applied it to his life, and that's how he became a millionaire.
Yeah, you might go send me that formula right now. No, I feel you though. So like, well, I know I mentioned like you mentioned a close relationship. So like, what animals would you say like that he kind of like watches like more like is that a particular animal he watches more in documentaries? Like,
So I like the documentaries, but one thing that I learned from
yeah,
him is study animals because you can learn a lot from them and their habits. So I know, I kind of asked him like, "Hey, give me more context." When I first heard that, and he talked about like
yeah,
squirrels, right? The squirrel's going objective is to always get its nut. At the end of the day, whatever it has to do to get it, right? Oftentimes, you may see squirrels fighting. You may see squirrels fleeing from things. You may see squirrels almost in the middle of the road getting hit. But if you look at it at the end of the day, like that driving force is that nut, right? And whatever comes along with the journey, again philosophically, but the way that he kind of
yeah,
intertwined it, man, it applies at the end of the day. So
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, no, that I completely get it. Yeah, I know. 'Cause I know. I occasionally watch my documentary once in a while. Normally, I try to do like a historical side of things, just kind of different perspectives of things. But animals, animals is always a good thing to watch. Outside of Shark Week and all, but like I used to love watching like for instance, like watching the wolves, like the older hierarchy and all that stuff, pack leader, lone wolf, and all that cool stuff like that. But that's dope.
Yeah.
That's
So
dope.
so when I was younger, I was on the same wave though, bro. But as I got older, like I don't know, I think it's a lot of politics within it that's tainted. Like I like the nature because it's pure. Again,
Yeah,
like we watched a recent one that we did watch was like about an octopus. Like we don't see octopuses every day. You know what I'm saying? So learning, kind
yeah,
of diving into that realm, talking to Avery about it, like, yo, why did they change colors? Right? That's the camouflage. Like the educational
yeah,
pieces that come with it. And again, I think animals for me always brought out like my inner kid. Right? It's kind of like a awe factor that comes with them. So yeah.
yeah. No, that's really dope. I always like animal nerd because I completely get it because I know like a fun fact, like I know they say like octopus can get out of like any situation, and I thought that was always kind of cool. Like I know like I know like somebody had done like a video like they had put an octopus in a jar and he finds his way out like
Yeah.
inside out. I said,
Yeah.
yo, that's dope. I think I remember
I
I
just
remember.
don't.
Yeah, go ahead, my bad, brother. Go ahead, keep going.
No, my bad. No, my bad. I don't feel like our kids like hear stuff about like that. Like right now, like the average kid, if you ask them right now, man, like they probably quoting a Sexy Red song or something. You know what I'm saying? Like for them to know that the octopus has these specific traits and skills, and it may not be something that applies to them at this very moment, but again, it's something they can build off. Right? They may want to be a veterinarian down the line because of that, and it just boils back to exposure, bro. So.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And it's funny. I think back to like another like animal metaphor like animal like you used too. I swear that I think when I was like younger, maybe like kind of going through like the process of whatever, like I remember like one of our children was like he would always like compare me to like a duck, and he would normally just say like one thing about a duck, like a duck would get wet, but he would just shake it off and just keep it moving. And I was first when I heard that, I was like I love it. Like I loved it. Sometimes it's healthy, sometimes it's not. But sometimes it's just a survival tactic that we try to do and to get through it. So yeah,
Nah, I
that's
definitely feel that. I definitely feel that.
so now because of you now, I'm gonna get my documentary on in the next couple of hours now because now I was like, it's Brother Jenkins for sure. Yeah. So what I
Tap in,
also
man.
yeah tap in. Oh yeah for sure for sure. I'm gonna definitely tap in. Yeah, that's a lost
Look
art
look
documentary.
up something. Look up something that you've never heard about, right? On some stuff like I feel like if you look up weird and unique animals, right, that's maybe how we'll start, and it'll give us to like a certain category or sector, and then that boils into me researching something else. And
Yeah.
there's one other thing that she's really fond of. She often asks me like, why is this the case, right? Or like, what would happen if this? There's a lot of videos for youth if they were to look up like, why do people snore when they sleep, right? These random just questions
Yeah.
that kids traditionally ask. I'm like, let's go research it. And it has
Yeah.
sparked her curiosity. And every time she asks me something, and now it'll get to the point where she'll use that on me. Like she'll ask me something, I'm like, I'm not sure, baby. She's like, well, why don't you research
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Not to do that.
it?
Become the teacher now. Okay. Yeah,
You
grasshopper.
feel me?
Yeah.
100%.
Still didn't put me on rim. Put me onto like a hobby you do that maybe like no like people don't normally don't do. You could be from
Hobby.
kayaking. Yeah, yeah.
So it's crazy. It's crazy you say that. I'd say probably kayaking is probably like the recent habit. I don't do it. I don't do it too often, obviously now because of the weather. But it's one thing that my mentor, or not even my mentor, but really my homeboy, my dog. He's a mentor on our team, counterpart essentially, and he is very outside the box. For me, I'm from Asheville, North Carolina, but like I might have kayaked when I was like young at summer camp, but like it ain't something that I want to overly pursue. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I want to do that? I can swim, but it's just not something that's natural to me consistently. But man, I did it recently. We did it internally with our executive team, and then we ended up doing it with some of our college mentors. And man, when I tell you, it was probably one of the most peaceful experience, top 5 peaceful experiences I've had. And at first, I was so excited to do it, bro. But as we got closer, like I got more anxious and like anxiety. I was like, bro, what are you doing? Like my inner voice. But man, it was a dope experience, and I would advocate for all of our youth having that opportunity, and even some individuals who are a little bit older who would traditionally turn it down and shy away
Yeah.
from it, get the experience, because the experience was extremely impactful, very decompressing for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Love that. So, question. So, kayaking is one thing. Have you ever done whitewater rafting before?
So I did that when I was young in Asheville, but I didn't. It was cool, but it was like really small scale. Like it wasn't, a long distance to the extent where we did it. Quick sample, kind of got up
Yeah.
out of there. I was like, I'm not doing that again.
Nothing extreme. Like, no big ass waterfall. No, I feel you.
Not at all. Not at all.
Alright, so my last part for sure is my put me on blast. So, I hate to use the term complaining because complaining can mean a lot of different things. Me personally, I hate when people complain. It actually irritates me because it's like, it's one thing about you venting out, but like, what are your solutions to fix it? That's what irritates it. That's why I draw the line at for me. But like, what's something that's like something you put on blast? Like, what's irritating you? What's pissing you off? What do you need to get off your chest?
Yeah, yeah.
We got all three
So
of them. So we got, like,
I like that you say that. One quote that I've taken top of mind is, "What you don't change, you choose." Right. So again, to those individuals who complain, like, what if you invested that time and energy into investing in overcoming that specific obstacle? That's really my mentality with things. I would say one thing I'm flustered with is one thing that does kind of grind my gears. To your point, I align with the complaining, but the biggest thing is envy and jealousy. I've never understood, and I think culturally, we're probably well, no, we are one of the most inter envious groups, right? I love how other cultures work together to build individuals up, right? I love how a household of individuals can come together, right? And be cousins and, save and stack money together to live, to build, and then they all go and invest and get their own. That always seems to be a problem internally. And that's one thing that I want to be intentional about addressing. even when it comes to in our space, bro, right? We got even frat wise, things of that nature, man. You got some high, strong ego individuals who are in constant competition with each other. I'm not in competition with anybody but myself, my future self at that. And that's something I really embody. I believe if more individuals leaned into giving others their flowers and then asking, hey, how did you get that? What is the blueprint? What is the game? We can collectively really build together, man. So that grinds my gears. I'm not fond of people who are not even beefing, but they aren't fond of individuals because they have what they desire to attain but haven't invested the energy. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I respect that shit for real. Like that is some real stuff. And also, I think you are right, especially like as people, especially like black people, like you're right. We do have that crab in the barrel mentality still to a lot of capacity. The question is,
I gotta talk about that. I gotta talk about that. I'm sorry, because I've made it a mission every time somebody said that, because somebody did it to me and it changed my whole perspective. Right? We talk about crabs in a bucket. But who put the crabs in the bucket? Like that's not their natural environment. So we have to analyze the bigger system at play, which has caused this specific arena to exist as well. So even when we talk about us combat that internal combative, it's larger scale. You know what I'm saying? So that's all. My bad. I just had to throw that out there because somebody enlightened me with that, and it changed my whole thought process.
Nah, preach it, brother. No, you good. But but like what I was saying though. But like everyone, like we can all eat together. Like I never got that either. Like why have that? And it's different. Like it's not even like civil rivalry. It's just like sometimes it just straight out hate, and it's like why we looking like this? Everyone knows we're much stronger together than we are as an individual. So I do like that. That's a good video. So,
but even if energy doesn't align though, just mutually agree to coexist or go about your way though. Like one ain't gotta be on the ego joint. It's simple.
Exactly. Work on the same mission. We got to get to the mission. But now, as you mentioned earlier about blueprints and putting people into the game and everything, so put us on to your journey. Start Roots mentoring. How we get here?
Got you. So background story is essentially again going to Fayetteville State my freshman year, balling, athlete, doing all that good stuff. Wasn't really too fond of the party life. I would say I grew up a little fast, so I did all that in like high school. So when people was going out like doing all that in college, I was like, that ain't really for me at this point in time. But my dogs did end up convincing me to go to a party. So this is my first party, Fayetteville State College, all that good stuff. And I ended up getting jumped. Nah. So it wasn't no UPA. It was off camp. But in the midst of it, there was a situation, a commotion, and the result of it was I ended up getting jumped right at a club by some individuals. Wasn't really didn't know them, didn't really know the details behind it. Found out some details after the fact. But in the midst of it, there was somebody who shot up in the air, and I just remember kind of having like an out of body experience, just reflecting on it, like. After the whole situation, it was just like what if that would have hit you? Like, one, you got jumped. What if, you know what I'm saying, somebody shooting in the air, being ignorant? Like, what if that was the end of your story? What components would not have got told? And for me, that was the biggest piece. Come here, big girl. Let me give you a big hug. And not baby. Like, go ahead. But essentially for me, it just really made me reflect. And I've always been told kind of you're different. Like I've always known I had a vision and I always want to get back to the next generation. So for me, it was like, bro, what can you do to change this for the next individual? Right? You're here for a reason. How can you impact and ensure this doesn't happen to the next individual? And that's really where Roots was birthed. From there, I had an opportunity to work under the youth development coordinator, a good brother of ours, again, Jeff May. And I was his intern. And basically, it gave me access to all the schools in Cumberland County. So as I went in, I just engaged with youth, and I was able to fill a bridge and a gap. I saw that the faculty couldn't really relate to a lot of kids, and they just didn't hear them out, and they looked at them as having behavior issues and not being, not being in alignment with the quote unquote system. And essentially, in talking to the youth, I was able to identify what was going on, and then create solutions to really offset that and address those issues that weren't being discussed. And Lily, man, that was the birth of Roots. So again, Roots is an acronym for Regiment of Overriding the Statistics. And since then, man, we're across 14 different schools and 4 rec centers making impact, man. Hundreds of thousands of mentees later, thousands of mentees later, and hundreds of mentors later, man. So rocking and rolling since 2016.
No, you better hit that. You better hit 2 years. You better hit that 10 years. So congratulations on that. Definitely. I know. It's just crazy
It's
when I ran. I know I seen it some time ago already as being on social media, and I think I remember I was asking you. Kind of, my little brother was in school and he was having an issue, kind of transitioning to the high school scene. So I was looking for things for him to get out of the house more, kind of, because my brother, he also operates his own unique space. He's compared to my mama's kids, he's the most introverted. So I was like, well, no, let's see some things
understood.
you do out here and everything. So when I ran into mentoring, I was like, oh, let me do my research. And I remember I told you I know Rebecca because we went to Pembroke together. So I know I commented on the page and everything. And there's a RED, Marcus can get up with you, Jenkins. And I was like, Marcus Jenkins. So when I saw the picture, good brother, good brother. But no, that's dope. That's dope. Oh, so what, are y'all all through K through 12, or is that
Yeah,
primarily?
so it's great question. So we do service K through 12, but traditionally our target demographic is going to be somewhere fourth, fifth, and then up from there. And then we have
Okay.
college students from Fayetteville State that serve as mentors to the youth within the school system. And then we also have our executive team, which supports and develops the mentors, but also pours into the parents for a holistic approach.
Yeah, that's an important part for sure. I know when I was living in Wilmington, I worked for a nonprofit known as Communities and Schools, and we kind of did some of the same thing where we served as like a outside liaisons from the school system to talk to connect better with the students and the teachers and the school climate and parents and everything. And I think I laugh at it now because now we're the adults and we're the parents now. Back then,
Yeah.
when we was young, the parents weren't on our side like that. They advocate for us differently compared to these new kids now. So I always think that's really interesting now to see how I don't know, demographics play in the certain school culture and climate and everything too. But one for you, as you being an ED, like what is your preferred uh grade level, group, age level that you like to work?
High school.
Yeah.
High school and college. I like high school from a mentor perspective. I mean, really, even like my mentees, I mentor, but I prefer high school. I think that's when you are the most malleable. I think that's when you're in the midst of really finding out yourself. That's what peer pressure is beyond vital. I just think it's an extremely pivotal place as individuals are finding themselves having, guides or liaisons to really help and support them.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, when I was working at the high school, I love working with the high school. It's like they're young adults. They didn't have all the answers, but they don't really. But they still gonna listen to you. They rock with you, and also too, and also especially having a kid who know that they're on the verge of breaking that generational curse is always like the dopest part about it. Like a kid who's like, I'm figuring it out or I want to figure it out. But yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So I know you said you have. I know you said y'all be at the rec centers, 4 of them. Like, how do y'all do the locations of the rec centers? Like, you do like certain districts or certain parts of Fayetteville, or how does that work?
Great question. So we have a great relationships with Parks and Recs of Fayetteville. So that's one of our partners, and essentially we work within rec centers that are in the quote unquote kind of disenfranchised neighborhoods or areas, but also that are close to the schools in which we support as well too. So for instance, like Walker Spivey as a school, but it's also a rec center. So again, it just really go hand in hand. We're already supporting the school, so why not support that collective community?
Okay, so I'm gonna dig in a little bit more because now I'm being nosy now. So of course, so like, what do y'all normally do when it comes to like the meetings and the enrichments and the exposure activities?
Hmm. Great question. So the pillars of the organization is accountability, code switching, and effective communication skills, right? For me personally, these were three fundamental elements that like I realized you have to have to be successful that I think a lot of times we may lack, right? Code switching. We think we can always be loud and boisterous. And again, not everybody, but a lot of youth have to generally learn this because sometimes that's all they see, and now they think that that's the norm and they can do that, right? You got to be able to code switch if you walk into the meeting. You got to be able to code switch if you with your boys. Like it's the versatility is vital, right? So code switching, effective communication skills. I think it is imperative that the next generation be able to communicate, right? We got to understand this generation is Wi-Fi babies. They were the COVID babies. These are the individuals who can tweet or DM or send messages, the best of
Yeah,
the best. But when it comes to sitting down, having an in-person engaging conversation, they don't always thrive there, right? And you have to practice these things. It is imperative to practice these things. And again, I had to learn personally. All these are like a testimony to what I learned throughout my personal growth. I had a unique way of expressing myself, and oftentimes it was misspelled letters. It was things of that nature. And it took the person I was interning for to say, bruh, like, nah, that's not how we do this, and really set me down, right? So again, we talked about code switching, communication, and accountability, right?
Yeah.
These youth need somebody to hold them. Everybody needs somebody to hold them accountable, right?
Yeah.
But the question I always got from the youth was like, how can I do it if I never saw it, right? And I think seeing is believing. We have to be the example. And in the midst of mentoring, one of the most pivotal pieces is if you tell this youth don't do this, you can't do it either, bro. You know what I'm saying? You got to hold yourself to that same light and that same standard. So those are the three main elements that we harp on, and well, our pillars essentially, and they're in alignment with everything we do. But in regards to like the actual in-depth engagements, they're focused around social emotional learning, right? So learning how to really engage with yourself, learning your emotions, your mental health, how you feel the way you do, why you feel the way you do, which goes hand in hand with restorative justice. So we love our peace circles, man, being able to engage, create a safe space for the youth, and really just help them understand that they're not alone in the midst of where they are. And really, again, bigger than anything is creating a safe space for them to be heard out and really express how they feel, why they feel, and be able to deal with those emotions. And then last but not least is really focused on professional development. Again, kind of goes hand in hand with accountability, seeing positive role models, seeing individuals that look like themselves, that are thriving, to show them that there is more as well. So those are our main components.
I love it. I love it. It's definitely dope. And I know you have many various partnerships across the county and everything. I imagine you guys often do to college trips for sure. I imagine for sure y'all definitely at Fayetteville State posted up, coming there often and everything. Do you ever venture out to other HBCUs or other PWIs or colleges just in general?
Yeah, great question. So obviously through the frat, we have some great relationships that I'm continuing to work to build. But Methodist is definitely one of the colleges that we're topping in. We got board members that are in alignment with the university. We just actually did a men's empowerment forum for their high school students. So we did some peace circles with about 7 different high schools. Extremely dope, extremely impactful as well too. So locally, those are the relationships we have. We do have plans of building out some other relationships here in the near future as well, but HBCUs is definitely the route.
Definitely. Now, back to the mentorship piece, especially because I know I'll definitely probably say I know myself. I know I was kind of like introduced to mentorship probably later in life. Kind of after after that life after college, where you don't have things figured out yet. Sometimes it takes a village, or it takes like, hey, little black boy, like somebody never taught you like this. Let me hold you accountable. Let me mold something into you. You know how that goes. And I know I know you mentioned like the accountability, the code switching, and everything. But what are some like what would you say what is your preferred mentorship style, if that makes sense?
Yeah, so my preferred is gonna be in a group setting. It's crazy because our team recently got trained in restorative justice, and I
Yeah.
learned that I'd been doing restorative justice when I first created it. I just didn't know that's what it was called. So even like there's this picture. It's my favorite picture for mentoring when I was in the schools, actually conducting it when I first founded it. And essentially, it's a group of about 12 individuals and myself, and essentially we're just having in-depth conversations about what does after college look like, what is our goals, what are our objectives, and essentially everybody has the opportunity to go around and be heard out. But then my objective was always to follow up in more depth on a one-on-one basis. So one, we want to create a collective setting where you can build with your peers, hear them out, exchange information, ideas, but then want to follow up and have a little bit more of a one-on-one. Yo, so Josiah, I heard that, bro, like in the circle you said, so what's that look like? What's really going on type? And then being able to dig in more depth and always passing off a Napoleon Hill Think and Grow Rich to those individuals I see that specific spark in, to be able to empower them as well, man, and leave them with some jewels.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, and I agree with it for sure. I know me personally. I know like so when I was working in high school, I know I've always kind of valued the one-on-one relationship, just definitely because a lot of people have that wall up, and it does take a while to break down that wall. But once that wall is broken, and then you only come more to the group, then we can really get to the group and the potatoes of the meal for sure. But I know, of course,
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned, people talk about the good things, the great things of mentorship and being a mentor. But for you, what is like one of the most challenging parts of being a mentor, or being, or you being two
Great
mentors?
question. Great question, man. I would say being more invested in an individual than they are in themselves. I think that's the biggest piece, right? When you see so much potential, when you see an individual who can overcome all the statistics that are in, right, that individuals would say that they align with, or beat all the predicaments and the hurdles and the environment that they come from, but they fall back into it, right? Because of peer pressure, because of that's the cool thing, because of what society says and what they're
Yeah,
chasing to obtain, right? An image associated with it. I think that's probably the biggest let. I don't even want to call it a letdown, but it's the biggest element of mentoring that hurts the most, right? It's the most painful component that goes hand in hand with mentoring. And especially, again, man, I've been, even before Roots, bro, I was mentoring, bro. I'm 28. I've probably been mentoring since I was a good like 12, like for real, for real.
yeah,
So for me, bro, it's a lot of journeys, it's a lot of memories, it's a lot of missions that I wouldn't consider failed, but I wish they would have resulted in other routes because I was so invested in individuals.
yeah. Okay, okay. I think I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you like a self care question. Cause as a mentor, people often look for you for the answers, and you often pour into a lot of people. But what do you do to pour in yourself? What do you do to get yourself back on balance, get yourself back in line after some difficulties? You know how it goes.
Great question. No, I definitely do. I always say, man, you can't pour from an empty cup at the end of the day. So that's beyond vital. Again, I would say kayaking. Kayaking has been one, but meditating. I told you, Londrell, like that's my dog. Like y'all play Londrell right now, y'all gonna find yourself meditating. I'm very intentional, man. I try to spend at least 30 minutes to an hour just by myself, just really assessing my feelings, my emotions, what's going on, why do you feel the way you do, how was your day, what could have been better, things of that nature. And it really helps mellow
Yeah,
me to the fullest extent. So meditating, bro. I also look back through old pictures. Like again, baby girl's birthday is next week, man. Like this morning, wife and I were just in the car looking back through our Snapchat at like old pictures of her, like when she was 1, when she was 2, when she was learning to walk, like all those different variables, man. They charge me up, but I also do it in the realm of mentoring, right? So I have my camera, I look through it, right? Our last, we just had a retreat, right? I just sent me the recap video today. I watched that joint probably like 23 times. Like
yeah,
just seeing the different moments, the different joyful, expressions and things of that nature. And then last but not least, man, I would also say like I have a circle, bro. I have a few different circles actually. I have a circle of my dogs back home, man. There's 4 of us that grew up in Asheville, and like we just pour into each other, man. Every week we hop on a call. We strive to hop on a call. Let me be
yeah,
real,
yeah. We've been busy now. You
and we
gotta.
just pour. You feel me? It's a lot of moving pieces, but we always tap in consistently, and it's how are you sincerely, right? What's really going on? How is things of that nature? We ask questions and we create a safe space where we can really be vulnerable. Like, bro, like today wasn't my day. Like they really poured in. They poured into it, right? So they were part of that one going to a 4 as well today. And then I also got my team, bro. My E team is really my family, like my dogs. One of the gentlemen on the executive team is actually my neighbor, so he's across the street. So
That's
anytime
what's
we
up.
just not feeling it or something of that nature, or, bro, you trying to watch the game, like me and the guys get together, bro. We watch the game. Traditionally, football is when we get together, kick it, decompress when I am watching the game. But outside that, man, just connecting with people, good energy, and my line drill.
Nah, I feel you. I feel you. And if possible, I know when I meant to do too earlier. I know you're dropping the gems of the music to listen to. I need some go to songs so I can put on my playlist. I need my go to I need that. So actually, let me get that. Let me
Man,
get that real quick. Actually, your next set of questions because I was like, so bro, mentioning it ain't really heavy. It's like I gotta
yeah,
make
yeah.
it in the vibe, get the chakra vibe.
So my top song that I really love, Loki, this is like the theme song for Roots, right? It's called
Um,
Routine. AJ McQueen, Routine. This the routine. Man, I also another song, man, I probably listen to this joint like at least once a day. And I'm not sure why. It's 2
yeah,
songs actually. It's Time by Rex Life Raj. Time. One, I'm a timekeeper, right? It goes hand in hand. But
yeah.
2, he talks about the balance, right? I think well, I know for myself personally, there's always a balance, bro. To your point, talking about being busy. Everybody get the same 24 hours, but like, bro, it's consistent pulls in different ways. I live by my calendar, and in the song, he talks about wishing he had more time to be more intentional with every interaction, and it just
Mhm.
helped. This again, very dissective song that I'm extremely fond of. And then last is Survivor's Remorse by Roddy Rich.
Yes, yeah.
And I dig it because what I got from the song is oftentimes we feel and elevating in the midst of, you know, your crowd, your squad, whoever you come from, things of that nature. Sometimes you feel guilty and you want to be able to lift others up, but I think that goes back in alignment with what you asked prior to, right? Sometimes you're more invested in others than they're invested in themselves, and it's a thin line in between that, so you don't get drained or burned out in the midst of that. And those are three I really align with right now.
definitely. You know, I appreciate kind of when you were talking about like the. I know I love me. I love vibey music, like high vibration music, and also it is good to have a good balance and some positivity. You know, I like music all across the board. You know, I can't listen to Future all the time. You can't listen to trap people all the time. But it's about variety and everything. But okay, so I ain't gonna keep you too much longer and everything. So of course I know you have a very important event coming up real soon. It's very imminent. What's the event?
Yeah, man. So we got our gala coming up, man. This is our second annual gala. Man, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all, man. Last year I shed a tear behind this event. And just give you a little bit more context. This is actually one of the questions we ask in one of our peace circle and with the young men was the last time you shed a tear. Bro, when the last time somebody asked you that? Like just like random, like your dog. Like I wanna ask these type of questions, like on average, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
and I answered and I told them the gala, because man, last year we gave away $10,000 in scholarships, and we gave them away in the to graduating high school seniors that we service, and we gave it away in my grandfather's name. So my grandfather was a principal in Asheville, North Carolina, bro. He got a rec center named after himself,
That's
bro.
dope.
Like this man, yeah, like this man's a legend, bro. Like you know what I'm saying. So he was always really who I looked up to and aspired to be. You know what I'm saying as I grew up, just because of how not even how, and when I say powerful, not because of like the not because of the clout and you know the funds and the resources, things of that nature, but because of like the impact he made on individuals in the community and the stories that I heard behind that impact. Like it always sent chills down my spine. Like bro, like that's you were him type. And again, now during this event, this is going to be on the 16th of November, and it's going to be hosted at Fayetteville State University. So again, first year hosting it at where I graduated, where I met my wife. You know what I'm saying? Like that's big for me. Now we're also going to be doing a toy drive simultaneously to serve the different elementary schools we support to ensure that we can provide them Christmas. Man, we got 10 sponsors on deck. Man, shout out to PNC and a few of our other partners coming through. Beyond appreciative for that. And now we're also going to have just some community awards where we give flowers to individuals making impact on the day to day, and have a few different performances, man. So some spoken word, some ASA, which is a local club at Fayetteville State, doing a dance,
Yeah,
giving them some flowers, and really celebrating our people, man. It's gonna be a dope event. Excited for everybody to tap in with us.
absolutely. How much the tickets and everything?
So the ticket's 75, but it's going strictly as a donation. But man, when I tell you what we got planned, and then the dinner alone, you'll be straight. It's gonna be good. We gonna eat good. We gonna have a good time. Yeah, man. It's gonna be a dope occasion, and I'm beyond ecstatic for it, man. My people coming up from Asheville and everything behind it, so we're gonna make a movie, man.
Me driving that 6 hour right there to come see that young and come do some work. I love it. I love it. I guess it's probably like my last question, but it's a two-part question. So definitely, like, so if somebody wants to be involved, whether they have a student they want to sign up, or they even want to become a mentor or be some form of involved, what's the best way for them to go? What's the best way for them to go ahead and do that?
100%. So you can go to our website, which is rootsmentoring.net. And on that, you can go to join. So if you go to join, you can scroll down and actually go ahead and fill out a link to begin to register your youth within our programs. And again, we are in 14 schools. So if we don't service the school in which your youth goes to, they can always come to our real talk sessions. So that link will take you directly to apply for that. You'll get on our text list, our email list. From there, we'll make sure we communicate with you every event and engagement coming up so you could be a part. And y'all can also tap into the Instagram, which is Roots Mentoring, Facebook Roots Mentoring, all the above, and even the LinkedIn Roots Mentoring.
So, and one more question I'd like to ask before we get off the show, definitely, what can we do as a community to better support you and your efforts?
One, bro, that question alone is beautiful. I think, man, keep it up, man. Individuals don't ask that question on average, right? They want to highlight, they may want to spotlight, but they don't ask like, yo, like, how can what can we really do, right? Man, time, bro. I think time is the biggest thing, right? individuals just donating time to youth, right? Anytime we think about those individuals who truly impacted us, we think about the time that they spent. We think about the time that they invested, right? Being able to pull up to volunteer to gauge with a youth is one thing, but also being able to pull up and get some of that substance to be able to pass on to other individuals. And last but not least, $1, right? We operate off faith, right? we operate off heart. But at the end of the day, like, it costs bread to be able to make impact and do a lot of these different engagements in which we do. So again, even via our website, you can actually make a donation directly there to continue to support and be a resource, or always go ahead and sign up to volunteer to tap in and be a resource.
Love it, love it, love it. You know, and that's right. I know, especially working with the youth who are at such this crucial phase of their life, where they're the next level up. You know, it's always good to give back, and also good to be a change agent for them, also to help be number one light for them too. But my brother, like I said, I won't keep you up too late and everything. I know this weekend this week baby girl's birthday and everything, so I don't keep you much longer. But I want to thank you for hopping on. Yeah, it means a lot to me, and I'm glad we had to spend the block twice to get this shit right, to get it right on the platform and get this meeting done, especially and everything. But yes,
Yes, sir.
you have posted anything. I'll love to share, to get the word out also, because you know you're doing great things in the Fayetteville area for sure. Like, I wish we had this when we was jitsing, you know, going to 71st or going to other schools and everything. So, brother, we appreciate you.
Well, what you know? What you know about 71st? What you know about 71st?
12, dog. That's my shit.
That's where you went.
Yes, sir.
Where? Oh, so that's one of the schools we support, though. So Small World. Nah, back in the day, we could have been, right, but we manifested it. We here now, so nah, that's beautiful.
Absolutely, yeah. I love my little 71st. I need to go there more often, but I'll get there in the future. But yeah, brother, like I said, keep doing the great thing you're doing, brother. I'm sure I'm going to see you around. And I want to thank you for tuning in on this episode of Put Me on TV. Remember, also with a lot of the things going on in today's society, be honest about where you're at mentally, because I know this is a whole new period we're ushering again and got to get adjusted to again. Take your time, talk to the people you need to talk to, but most importantly, have faith moving forward. It sounds like it might be hell now, but the best way to get out of hell is to keep moving or keep praying. One or two.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, brother, I ain't gonna much longer. Y'all be easy, y'all be good.
Alrighty. Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm here to stop now.